There's only one ultra-low ash heavy-duty engine oil. Chevron Delo 600 ADF with OmniMax technology. No other diesel engine oil defends like this one to reduce DPF clogging and extend DPF service life, extend drain intervals, and improve fuel efficiency. It's proven performance that keeps your truck ready for action on the work sites and on the weekend. For confidence in every mile, choose Chevron Delo 600 ADF.
From Washington, D.C., this is Road Signs with your host, Seth Clevenger.
Thank you for listening to Road Signs, the podcast series from Transport Topics that explores the trends and technologies that are shaping the future of trucking. In this episode, we're going to take you back to American Trucking Association's 2025 Management Conference and Exhibition in San Diego. During the event, I had the opportunity to sit down with Johan Land, Senior Vice President of Product and Engineering at Samsara, to discuss how artificial intelligence is driving improvements in fleet safety. The latest advances in AI are enabling trucking operations to better manage driver coaching, closely track weather events, and enhance worker safety, to provide just a few examples. But how do these expanding use cases for AI ultimately translate to safer highways? We'll set out to answer that question in this episode. Before we begin, though, I'd like to invite you to keep up to date on this topic and other important industry issues by subscribing to Transport Topics at ttn.ws/ttsubscribe. You can also text TT-subscribe to 571-622-0001. And now, without further delay, let's play my conversation with Johan. We're here in San Diego at American Trucking Association's 2025 Management Conference and Exhibition, and I'm very excited to speak with Johan Land, Senior Vice President of Product and Engineering at Samsara. Johan, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks so much. Thanks for having me. I'm enjoying it.
Also saw you here in San Diego just a few months ago at Samsara's user conference, and also this morning at your press conference. So it's good to see you so much lately. Just to start the conversation here, I want to start with artificial intelligence, because that is such a big topic these days. It really is driving the future of technology development across many industries, and that's certainly true here in transportation as well. Many use cases in our field in fleet management. So during this conversation, we're going to focus specifically on how AI can level up fleet safety programs. That'll be our focus. So Johan, how is AI enabling fleet operators to shift from a reactive approach to safety that the industry is familiar with to more of a proactive stance, and hopefully a stance that helps them prevent crashes before they occur?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks a lot. That's a great question, by the way. So AI is just getting a lot smarter, and it's almost like day by day now. And as AI gets smarter, it starts understanding not just what happened in the immediate moment, but it starts spotting trends. It starts being almost predictive of what might happen. For example, who are the highest risk drivers? Why might that be? What are the patterns or behaviors over time that needs to be handled, or needs to be managed, or needs to be coached on? In order to prevent, right? So AI is starting to see risks before they happen, and thereby be able of preventing accidents. And this is really fueled by more and more and better data, and more data, as well as for us, it's our customers, working closely with them, really learning from them what they're doing, what their problems are. So these three things put together is really what is kind of powering this new ability.
Yeah, and it is a really exciting moment, I think, in technology development to see the possibilities. So speaking of that, this fall, Samsara introduced a major expansion to its AI-powered safety platform. So part of it is automated driver coaching. Driver coaching is a big part of a safety program, but managing that effectively and efficiently is the challenge. Also weather intelligence, and also some worker safety features. So a pretty big product rollout and enhancement there. There's clearly a lot to unpack, and I'd like to go into each of those individually, but first on a more general level, how does this new level of AI capabilities enhance and expand what you've been doing really for the past decade at Samsara?
Yeah, so it's really changing the game and changing like our capabilities and how we can help customers, and where it goes from sort of, and I don't want to minimize that. Those were really impactful days when you had a camera in a vehicle and it would have AI running on it, and it detected things and it alerted the driver and it uploaded those videos to the cloud and made them available for someone to look at. That was the old world, and by no means that was a phenomenal world, and it's a great world and very impactful, but it's taking us from this world into a new world where you don't have to sift through all these events. You don't need to analyze them yourself. The AI is doing all of that for you. Like, that's the new event, that is bringing all this data together. And we'll go deeper into it, but it's bringing weather into that. It's spotting the trends and patterns. It's making the able of prioritizing what truly matters, etc. So like, that's the new thing. It's taking us into, I would call it a new generation of AI safety.
Yeah, this is the next level, and it's all, there's so much information. It's more than an individual human being could ever consider sitting down at a desk.
That's right, because you have like infinitely many of these AI agents kind of doing this for you.
So I also wanted to get into the details on AI-powered automated coaching features. You referenced this a little bit, and you recently rolled this out. How does this enable fleets to coach, train, and recognize their drivers in a more efficient way, right? I mean, especially if you're operating a larger fleet, lots of drivers, so many drivers to monitor and watch the performance, and you only have limited resources.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I want to start off here, like we're saying, like almost all drivers are good. Right, and all drivers want to do good. Like that needs to be the attitude that we start with here, right? Like so, and that's also when you set up a good coaching program, you need to begin there. You need to praise and start with positive recognition. Really help those. Yeah. But then there are some drivers that truly need help. So what the AI does here is that it figures that out. So it analyzes all the events and looks at them. It looks at what's the severity of this event. Like, were you picking up your mobile phone while driving at a high speed? Were you rolling a stop when it was when it was icy conditions, etc. So it analyzes that in detail for severity as well as frequency. Did you have a single yawn, or was there a pattern of drowsiness? It looks at the context, like was there particular weather conditions? Was it at night? It looks at the driver's history. What's the history with them? Have been long with the organization, etc. And then it determines what of these behaviors and which drivers truly need attention. Like, they need to sit down with a manager and have a coaching session, and which of them can actually take care of this behavior and stem it in the privacy of the cab, right? Just through an alert or through self-coaching on a mobile phone. So the AI does all that analysis and automates it such that you, as a fleet manager, you can focus on what truly matters.
Yeah, you have that front line of drivers, essentially coaching themselves in the cab for minor incidents, and they can learn as they go. And then, of course, it flags the more serious events and the higher risk assessments to the fleet managers to address. And this scales tremendously well. Like, we have some examples of fleets that have adopted this, where you have a single manager coaching like 1,000 drivers. So like it's a whole new world. Like typically that would be more of like 1 to 10, 1 to 20 kind of ratios. Like it scales tremendously well. Yeah, no, that's really fascinating. And you also often hear fleet managers talk about the value of not only, of course, tracking and addressing unsafe behavior, but also recognizing and rewarding good driving behavior, right? So both ends of it, and again, kind of building up driver retention and the loyalty from the drivers is always such an important issue in our industry. But Johan, from your perspective and from what you've seen in this industry, how can driver recognition and rewards help elevate a company's overall safety culture? And how are you working to enable that at Samsara?
No, absolutely. And it comes back to the other thing I mentioned, that most drivers are good, and that you need to start from that standpoint, and then make safety be a positive thing, not a penalizing thing. It's crucial to bring the drivers with you on this journey, make sure they have a positive stance, as well as bring the union with you on this journey. So therefore, having some form of a recognition rewards program in place is absolutely key. And of course, we have that built into the platform, so you can send kudos to drivers, which they get and pops out through notifications in the mobile app. You can also reward drivers through gift cards and those types of things. That's exceptional cases. You also get achievements as part of this, so milestones that you hit certain things, like not picking up your mobile phone for a certain time, or keeping speed limit for a certain amount of miles, etc. And now we're also bringing in competitions. So that's like when you can have drivers compete against each other, who is the safest, but it's all in the spirit of like being positive around the safety.
Yeah, absolutely. And Another new feature that's part of the platform is weather intelligence. Maybe weather is not the first thing you think about when you think about safety, but it should be toward the top, right? Because it really is a factor in so many crashes and so many safety risks in our industry. So maybe just talk to us about how you're using weather data, weather overlays, live alerts, and also using your camera networks to pull in images and video of weather conditions really around the country, around everywhere your fleet customers are operating.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is nice point of view to come from. The weather has been around for a long time, etc. Right? But there's still innovation that can be done in that. So we're really excited to dive into this, and in particular because 1 in 5 accidents are caused by bad weather. So it's one of the major factors of accidents. So what we do is that we've really integrated into the platform, and it comes from an observation that many people care about weather when managing their fleets, but they're stuck in fragmented systems. Look at weather in one place, look at your fleet in a different place, communicate with your drivers in a third place. We're bringing it all together inside of Samsara, and it's integrated in the platform. So you can identify what is the bad weather, who are my drivers that are affected by this, and you can communicate to them. And then we have a twist on this whole thing, which is weather can be different. You have a rain or you have fog or something like that, but the weather forecast doesn't really tell you what does it actually look like on the ground. So we have a new feature where you can zoom down to the ground and see what the conditions are. You can see that from your own vehicles, or you can also see it from the entire Samsara network, which is the largest network of these types of vehicles. So it's super impactful. It's magical when you see it. I wish we could show it over audio here in some way. But
if you don't have a vehicle there, chances are somebody with a Samsara dash camera is nearby.
Oh yeah. I mean, on every road in the US, there's Samsara vehicles that pass every other minute.
In addition to road safety, Samsara has also been addressing driver safety more broadly. It has a new worker safety feature in the driver app. Drivers can use this to quickly alert managers to safety issues with an SOS button. That's an interesting new functionality. Tell us how that extends safety protection beyond the cab.
No, absolutely. And I'm personally really devoted to safety. It's a really important mission for myself. And protecting people when they're inside of their vehicles is really important, but with this we extend it outside. So you go to somewhere, you do to work site, and you do some certain piece of work, but often we've observed that the drivers then are alone, also outside of the cab. If something happens, they may very well be there and be hard to communicate. So therefore we have this rugged device. It has a battery life of a year plus, which means that you can you set it and forget it, and then it's just always with you, and a single button, and you get connected and get help, right? So the idea is that you just can get help at any time with no friction, and in these situations, seconds actually matter, and they matter a lot. So that's why we're really happy about just extending the whole safety sort of solution also to outside the cabs.
So as I mentioned a bit earlier in the conversation, this is my second visit to San Diego within the past few months, and I never turned down a good trip to San Diego, but of course I was here in June for Samsara's Beyond conference, and that was actually right next door here to the convention center. So during that conference, Samsara introduced more than a dozen product updates that incorporate AI to help fleets become safer, smarter, more efficient. One of those that was discussed at the show was AI Multicam, and this is enabling fleets to install up to 4 additional onboard cameras. This is providing a 360-degree view around the vehicle potentially, also in-cab monitors, and this is providing just a lot more information to the driver, reducing blind spots. You can alert drivers to pedestrians, cyclists. It's an extra layer of safety protection. Do you see that as the next evolution of onboard video and safety-based video protection in the trucking industry, and how does it help drivers operate in a safer manner?
No, it's been great since we launched this just a few months ago, because now we have it out in the field, and we see what is actually happening and how it's helping our customers stay safe, and it's fascinating. So we start seeing things like backup, for example. You operate a big vehicle and you're backing up, if the truck with a trailer, or if it's a if it's a school bus or if it's a garbage truck or something, you're backing up. It's not always so easy to see what's around you. So the pedestrian detection is proving to be absolutely crucial, because what happens there is you're backing up or driving forward or whatnot, and there's a pedestrian or a cyclist that are nearby. It alerts you to it, and you can see on a display inside that it's there. So we're already starting to see this actually saving lives. So it matters a lot. The other thing that we're starting to see is other side swipes, or even like motorcycles passing really fast on highways, or when you're about to make a turn. We're starting to see those types of saves as well. So it's been beautiful to watch this last month, just how impactful this actually is.
Yeah, and I've been at Transport Topics for almost 15 years now, and I think my main takeaway, the first time I got inside the cab of a Class 8 truck, was just how hard it is to see around you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, your field of vision and your visibility is so limited. Anything we can do to address some of those blind spots is, I think, a big win on the safety front.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Like, to be safe, you need to see all around yourself. It makes a logical sense.
Yeah, and of course, we're here at a very large show in the industry. And I think there's a little bit of a current, of course, of the freight market realities right now. We're now in the third year of a freight rate downturn. It's been really about 3.5 years of a down market. It's put a lot of financial stress on motor carriers. It's making it really more important than ever for them to operate as efficiently as possible, right? When margins are thin, when rates are low, and when costs are rising, anything you can do to be more efficient is what you need to do to survive in a tough market. So let's pull in AI there. Like, how can AI help companies do more with less as they deal with these? Again, not a great market environment.
Yeah, that's really important. And rising costs is a key thing, and it doesn't only come from safety; it's also from other things. But of course, on the safety side, like this solution really helps bring down the costs. And as I think we spoke about the earlier today, like we see crash rates going down by 35-40%, and even those that adopt the technology to its fullest, we see upwards of 73% reduction in crash rates. That typically linearly translates to reduced costs. So that's a huge factor. But we also see these cameras apply to other things, and it's industry specific what those things are. But I can share a few examples. So in waste management, for example, we're starting to see people like doing service verifications as a thing. That can also apply to other things where it's saving costs. Of course, we have all the routing is another, like efficient routing, also an AI example.
Sure.
Adherence to those routes through navigation, ensuring that you follow that. So there are plenty of ways that AI, and I think we're starting to see only the beginning of this.
Right, and it'll be amazing to see all the different use cases that come out of it over time. I think that as companies build AI literacy and as fleets really start to implement it, maybe start with the low-hanging fruit, they'll have ideas and come up with other ideas, probably working with vendors like Samsara on how they can go further with AI and become more efficient. Speaking of AI, there's just, of course, an enormous amount of hype these days. Everybody's talking about it, and this wave of generative AI and large language models have really kind of captured the imagination of the general population. So there's a lot to unpack. Fleet managers really just might not know where to begin. When it comes to actually implementing AI in their organizations. Where do you start? So I'd love to hear from you on that. What's your advice to fleet operators on where they can start? Where do you identify those right opportunities for AI and really begin to apply it in a transportation industry?
Wow, that is a great question. Look, I think there are a few things there. Like, first of all, I would just have curiosity and confidence in exploring this. Just engage, play around with it, learn and whatnot, and be confident about it. It's like just play around and it will be fine. And also, so I'm very deep into this field, and I spend most of my time on learning about AI and building AI systems and whatnot. But at the end of the day, everything I am doing is trying to serve the purpose of the customers. So like in many ways, a fleet operator, I would think of you're in charge. You're in charge of this transformation. People like me are here to serve you. So come in with the confidence, the curiosity, the ideas, and bring them to people like me, and we will make great things come here. But it's this is a phenomenal opportunity for everyone. I'm just super psyched about it.
Our trucks haul rocks, not blueberries, but they still have to get there on time. There is no slack in our schedules. These trucks can't break down. I choose an engine oil that takes care of the number one issue we have with emissions in our diesel engines, DPF clogging. It keeps our trucks on the road so we can deliver the loads that keep our customers in business and happy. Our reputation is on the line with every load. I wouldn't trust any other oil to protect it. I choose Dello 600 ADF.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think it's always fun to look forward and imagine where we might be in the near to medium term future. None of us have a crystal ball in front of us to do that perfectly, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about where we might be 10 years in the future. What's your best prediction for how AI could transform this industry and transportation over the course of the next decade?
Oh, that's a great question as well. Well, I would hope that we would move more and more in a direction. And on the perspective of 10 years, I would think that we would all have more of agents next to us that help us. So in the case of the camera in the vehicles, it would be an agent that talks to you, listens to you, has a conversation with you, and helps you out, right? Mm-hmm. And similar to the mobile phone or the mobile app that we have here, that it would also do the same, would communicate with you and help you out with tasks in a much more rich form of communication and dual communication and partnership with you as a user or the driver than it is right now. So just a more agentic world in that sense, to use kind of the word people typically put on this, and it therefore building up a very trusty relationship where people start depending more on it and relying on it and seeing it extremely useful. Now we have the beginnings of that, right? It's also already happening but in our case with the camera, it's helping drivers stay safe on the road, right? And it's also helping the great drivers be rewarded for that and praised for that and recognized for that. So it's already partner in that sense, but I think there's just so much more when you start having more engagement. And same for a fleet manager, it would be the same thing, understanding your operation, what is actually happening out there, what are the things that are important, what are my problems, how do I solve them, and actually, can the agent please help me solve these problems for me, so that you as the fleet manager and fleet operator can kind of make the calls, set the policy, set the strategy, the direction, but then the agents can more and more operate for you independently, but under your supervision. Right. So just a much more engaged, but built on trust for sure, but much more engaging and helpful sort of situation. Yeah. And we also see the tendencies there, in our case, through to the administrative fleet operator, we're already surfacing, these are the drivers you need to pay attention to, we help you take action on them, you want to coach them, we do that with an AI, etc. So all the components are there, but just going a lot deeper, such you have a partner really in these agents.
I think the way that people spend their time is fascinating to think about. How a dispatcher, how a fleet manager will spend their time in their limited time in a day when they have more and more of these AI tools. You can just imagine the mundane, the routine, maybe the low value tasks become increasingly automated. Yeah. And what would you do if you had more time, if you had more hours of the day? That starts to become, I think, the possibilities that we see moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And you can then start thinking more maybe about the proactive things. Right. How do I really improve the fleet? How do I improve how it operates? And we think in the case of safety, what are the root causes of risk that I have? How do I engage the drivers in a better way? How do I have constructive conversations? Things that we seldom get to because we are reactively handling emergencies. But let's have the AI handle those under our supervision so we can really be more forward-looking and proactive.
Yeah, it will be very fascinating to watch. And before I let you go here, Johan, are there any parting thoughts you'd like to share? Anything we didn't get to you'd like to mention?
Well, I think I would just like to express, appreciation to everyone on being on this journey with us and others. This is a key thing when it comes to AI safety cameras. They are absolutely transformative when it comes to safety. So I just appreciate all the engagement and all the feedback that we're getting. It's truly helping us develop these into better things. And from my perspective, the engagement with customers, learning from them and helping them become safer is the most important thing that I ever do.
Yeah, and transportation, it really should begin and end with safety. Right? That is the prerequisite to move freight effectively. Is first you have to move it safely, and technology is certainly improving what we can do there by leaps and bounds. So it's been fun. Again, about 15 years of Transport Topics now to see how far it's come in that time. Hey, great conversation, Johan. I really appreciate you taking the time here and being on the podcast, but I think that's a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Thanks again, and really appreciated hearing your insights with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Before we close, let's take a moment to revisit our original question. How do the latest advances in AI ultimately translate to safer highways? As we've heard during this episode, AI isn't a panacea for all safety risks in trucking, but it can help fleets better harness the massive data sets they're collecting on their operations. This enables fleet managers to automate routine driver coaching and focus their time and resources on the drivers most in need of intervention, where they can have the greatest impact on safety. AI also is helping fleets stay on top of weather-related safety risks with better awareness of the environment their drivers are operating in. This type of business intelligence and automation serve as tools that can help fleets elevate their existing safety cultures and make the most of their available resources. If you've enjoyed this episode of Road Signs, please let others know. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If my questions have sparked questions of your own, share them with me and the Road Signs team. You can email us at share@ttnews.com. Also, let us know how we did by texting TT Survey to 571-622-0001. And of course, we'll be back soon with a fresh episode of Road Signs. Until then, I'm Seth Clevenger. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining us. Road Signs is a Transport Topics production.